Hi children, we have to read chemistry or physics in different manner. We should have an idea of real life examples, what we have studied that should be applied to the real life concept. Then only we can analyze the things and we can get the concept. Let us try to do something in this class. Okay? See now. The first thing is, in case of a bulb, this is a common bulb, incandescent light or a normal bulb. In this, an argon gas is going to be used. Why an argon gas is used here? What is the reason? What will make an argon gas? Generally, inside the bulb there is a filament, okay, whose name is tungsten filament. When once electricity is passed to the bulb, the tungsten filament is very lightest one, which is very thin, and it, with the help of electricity, it gets a temperature around 2300 degrees centigrade. Sorry, 2000. So that is 2300 degrees centigrade, nearly. So that this tungsten filament tries to melt. When once melt, and it will move away in the form of vapor. That is why, that is the thing that which we are going to say as bulb has burned. If you use argon inside the bulb, if it is a quality bulb, they will use argon inside. If it is not a quality bulb, they will not give argon inside. They will not provide argon gas inside, inert gas. What does this argon do? It will collect the tungsten filament vapors and it will set back on the filament. It won't make tungsten filament to evaporate. Tungsten atom try to evaporate from the filament. Argon atoms collide with the evaporating tungsten and atom pushes them back. Bulb lasts longer as argon reduces the tungsten evaporation and prevents the oxidation of filament. In the further classes we will discuss what is oxidation, reduction. Okay, there is no need to worry now. So this is the process which happen in our bulb, so that the bulb's lifespan is going to be increased when we use this argon gas inside the bulb. One more beautiful concept, children. What is the role of helium in weather observation bulbs? Weather observation balloons. See, helium is a very light gas which is lighter than air and non-flammable, which will not flame, and chemically inert. It does not react with any of the substances. So the balloon is filled with the helium gas on the ground. Buoyant forces lift we will discuss what is buoyant force, everything in further classes. They will lift the helium being lighter than air and makes the balloon rise up. So helium makes a weather balloon rise because it is lighter air and non-flammable and buoyant and lift to carry the instruments high into the atmosphere. So this is the use of this helium. It's okay. What are the key components attached to the balloon in order to study the weather report for the helium balloon? Radio sound is one of the thing. What is that radio sound? It is a small package equipped with the sensors to measure the pressure, temperature and relative humidity. In order to measure all the things, they will use one of the concept which is known as radio sound. GPS receiver used to track the position of the radio sound to calculate the wind speed and direction. For that sake, GPS receiver is going to be attached to there. Parachute is also there. It is attached above the radio sound to allow for safe and slow descent back to the earth after the balloon burst. Balloon will be burst after a few days, usually around 1 lakh feet. Usually around 1 lakh feet, balloon will be bursted. So all the remaining equipment should be sent safely to the ground. For that sake, this parachute is going to be used. Radio transmitter sends the collected data back to meteorologist on the ground. So it will send to meteorologist. So they will read the data and they will display the weather report. Batteries will be used, power the instruments through flight. Okay. So flight means in the air. So this is the use. And one more beautiful concept, children. What is happening in case of lightning. When rain comes, we will get thunder and lightning. What is there? At that time, the temperature will be very extremely hot. It is around 30,000 Kelvin. The atom just convert into ions and electrons. Okay, atom splits into charged particle. So that state we call it as plasma state. Hot ionized state of matter where the atom splits into charged particles, that is ions and electrons, and the material is electrically conductive, charged. That will come and fall on trees or something, so that the people will die and the animals will die. So which is very high power. Okay, right, those shock waves. Next one, find the odd one out. Magnesium, mercury, manganese and silver. Which is the odd one here? Mercury, because mercury is liquid at room temperature while all are solids. Hydrogen, oxygen, helium and nitrogen. Here the helium is an odd one. Odd one means which is not similar to other three. Because helium is not a reactive metal. It will not react. While the rest all are reactive elements. They will react with the other elements. Next, copper, iron, helium and hydrogen. Here also helium, because helium is the noble gas and which rest are metals and rest are metals. Sulfur, phosphorus, graphite and silicon. The reason is silicon. The silicon is semi-metal. It is called as metalloid. It will having both metal characteristics and non-metal characteristics. The rest are, the remaining are non-metals. Next one, multiple choice questions. Which among the following is a pure substance? 916 gold, Coca-Cola, Bisleri, none of the above. None of the above. Or none of this is a pure substance. Okay. Identify the process associated with the increase in intermolecular space. Freezing of water in deep freezer. What happens? If deep water get converted into solid, intermolecular space is going to be decreased there. So this is not the correct option. Decreases in size of the naphthalene balls in a cupboard. In a cupboard, naphthalene balls, they are going to be evaporated, so that its size decreases. So process with increase in intermolecular space. If it is getting converted into vapor, the solid is getting converted into vapor is called sublimation actually. So this is the right option. Snowfall during winter is the wrong option, and liquefaction of nitrogen is also wrong option. Next we go for dash cannot be broken down into simpler substances, that is element. Dash is the smallest unit of element, atom. Dash is the smallest unit of compound, molecule. Dash is a liquid metal, mercury. Dash is the lightest element, hydrogen. Dash and dash are the most abundant elements present in the earth crust. One is oxygen and the other is silicon. The both are abundant elements which will be available in the more in the earth crust. Next we go for identify the liquid non-metal among the following. Liquid metal is mercury here. Liquid non-metal is bromine. Remember children, don't get confused. Bromine is also in liquid state. Mercury will also be in liquid state. Mercury will be metal. Bromine is non-metal. What they have asked? Slightly observe and try to answer. Identify the number of noble gases. It is actually 6. Which of the following element is present in trace amount? Trace means small amounts. That is inert gases generally, which is argon, not nitrogen, not oxygen, not ozone. Which among the following elements is abundant in human body? Oxygen is abundant in human body. And the next one, identify the compound among the following. Common salt, air, sugar, diamond. Common salt is a compound here. Next, the number of naturally found elements is around 92. 92 elements are naturally found and the remaining are artificially man-made elements. Around 92 will be the natural elements. Right? We go for the next thing. Next, short answer questions, children. Distinguish between element and a compound. I think we have learned the concepts very well. See now once. What is an element? Substance that consists only one type of atoms. Say similar type of atoms consists of, that will be called as an element. Substance made up of two or more elements chemically combined. Cannot be broken down into simple substances, these elements. This can be broken up into simple substances. Those are compounds. Okay, this has been repeated. Okay, represented by a single symbol, represented by chemical formula. Chemical formula, it is represented through chemical formula. Examples: hydrogen, gold, carbon, these are all elements. Water, carbon dioxide, sugar are compounds. We go for next thing. Right. Which of the given properties of liquid does this experiment to demonstrate? See, liquid take the shape of their container. That is one of the property. We already discussed. They take the shape of the container, and liquids have definite volume. They have fixed volume. This experiment demonstrates the two key properties of liquids. They have definite volume and they take the shape of their container. Next one, observe the activity and solve the above question. The question is, in this experiment, we have inverted the glass in the liquid. While inverting, inside the glass there will be air, so the liquid does not flow. If you just tilt it to some extent, the air will come out. So when the air falls on the liquid, we get bubbles. At that time, the liquid will flow. Okay, so in the inverted glass occupies space and prevents water from entering. When tilted, the air escapes, the bubble showing that air occupies space. So from this activity we can say that air will occupy space. And the next one, see honey, assess your honey and water. I think we have discussed the same thing already, because in case of honey, the greater cohesive force and adhesive force, both the things will be much in case of honey. So it will be poured slowly. If you pour water, it will be flow in fast. Okay, we can support this question, support the answer. So this is one more form. So same thing, you can take any of the thing, more viscous. So if it is easy, you can take this. If previous slide is easy, you can take that. So thank you, children. With this we have finished off this particular concept.